Welcome to this video. Today we gonna talk about the Menendez brothers. Make sure you subscribe and like. Let's get started. Intro. The names Lyle and Eric Menendez are now forever etched in the history of American crime. Their story, one of family secrets, shocking violence, and a highly publicized legal battle, captivated the world in the 1990s. In August 1989, the brutal murders of their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez, in their luxurious Beverly Hills mansion shocked the nation. What followed was a media frenzy and a courtroom drama that would have a lasting impact on how we view justice, family dynamics, and trauma. But beneath the surface of this tragic crime were years of hidden abuse, complex psychological struggles, and a story that raised more questions than it answered. In today's video, we'll dive deep into the background of the Menendez brothers, the shocking crime they committed, the investigation that followed, their highly publicized trial, and the long-lasting impact of their actions. Let's explore this tragic case in more detail. Background of the family. Lyle and Eric Menendez were born into an affluent family in Beverly Hills, California. Their father, Jose Menendez, was a successful Cuban-American businessman who ran a thriving entertainment company. He was known for his strict, controlling demeanor, and his wealth allowed the family to live a life of luxury and comfort. Jose had a reputation for being ambitious and demanding, pushing his children to succeed. Their mother, Kitty Menendez, was a stay-at-home mom who had previously been a flight attendant. She was seen as a loving mother by outsiders, but the reality of her relationship with her children was much more complicated. To the outside world, the Menendez family appeared to have everything: expensive homes, lavish vacations, and access to a lifestyle most could only dream of. But behind the pristine facade, the family was hiding dark secrets. As Lyle and Eric would later reveal, their home was one marked by physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. Both brothers claimed that their father, Jose, was a violent and controlling man who mistreated them on a regular basis. The abuse allegedly included physical beatings, verbal abuse, and even sexual assault by Jose. Kitty, while seemingly a loving mother, was accused of turning a blind eye to the abuse, perhaps due to her own emotional dependency on her husband. The details of the abuse were intensely contested throughout the investigation and trial. Some believe the brothers' claims were exaggerated, possibly concocted to justify the horrific actions they would later take. Others maintained that the brothers were indeed victims of severe trauma, which led to their eventual violent outburst. What's clear, however, is that the toxic family environment had a profound impact on the Menendez brothers. This was the backdrop to the tragic events that would unfold in 1989, and the abuse became a central element in their defense when they eventually confessed to their parents' murders. The murders. On the night of August 20, 1989, the Menendez family's world would be irrevocably changed. In the middle of the night, Lyle and Eric Menendez brutally murdered their parents in their Beverly Hills mansion. The two brothers ambushed their parents as they sat in the living room watching TV, using shotguns to kill them both in a violent, cold-blooded attack. After the murders, the brothers did not immediately flee the scene. Instead, they staged the crime scene to make it appear as though a botched robbery had occurred. They ransacked the house, broke windows, and even made it seem like the intruders had been after money or valuables. The brothers then drove to a local restaurant to have dinner as if nothing had changed, later returning home to call 911 and report the deaths of their parents. They claimed they had discovered the bodies and were devastated by the loss. To the outside world, the brothers appeared to be grieving children who had lost their parents in a tragic, senseless crime. However, their actions in the days following the murders raised suspicion. Within days, Lyle and Eric went on lavish shopping sprees, buying expensive cars, taking trips, and living an extravagant lifestyle. The juxtaposition of their grief with their sudden indulgence in luxury made it clear to many that something was amiss. Law enforcement quickly took note of their strange behavior, and suspicions began to grow. This was not the behavior of typical grieving children. The investigation. Initially, the police treated the murders as a possible robbery gone wrong. There were few clues to point them directly to the brothers. However, the more investigators dug into the lives of the Menendez family, the more questions arose. The brothers' behavior, specifically their bizarre spending habits and lack of genuine grief, became a focal point. In 1990, after a year of investigation, Lyle and Eric were brought in for questioning. They initially denied any involvement in the murders, but their stories were inconsistent, and the pressure from the authorities began to mount. Eventually, the brothers confessed to the crime, but their defense was shocking. They claimed that they had killed their parents in self-defense, alleging that they had been victims of years of abuse at the hands of their father, Jose. They stated that they feared for their lives during the shooting. This claim of self-defense would become the cornerstone of their defense strategy during the trial. However, the prosecution wasn't convinced, and they argued that the brothers had killed their parents out of greed and desire for their inheritance. The trial of Lyle and Eric Menendez began in 1993 and quickly became a media sensation. The details of the murders and the family's dark history were laid bare in front of the public. It was a courtroom drama that kept the nation riveted to their television screens. The defense argued that the brothers had suffered years of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse at the hands of their father, which led them to snap and kill him. They claimed the killings were an act of self-defense, as they believed their father would kill them if they didn't act first. The prosecution, on the other hand, painted a different picture. They argued that the murders were not an act of self-defense, but rather a premeditated act driven by greed. Lyle and Eric were accused of killing their parents to inherit their wealth. The brothers' behavior after the murders, including their extravagant spending sprees, was used as evidence to support this theory. The trial was intense, with emotional testimonies from both sides. Ultimately, the jury found both Lyle and Eric guilty of first-degree murder in 1994. However, the jury was unable to agree on a sentence, leading to a second trial to determine whether the brothers would face the death penalty or life in prison. In 1996, the verdict was announced. Lyle and Eric Menendez were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Aftermath and public impact. The case continued to captivate the public even after the conviction. Documentaries, books, and TV specials have been produced about the Menendez brothers, sparking heated debates about whether the brothers were truly victims of abuse or cold-blooded killers seeking wealth. Public opinion remains divided on the matter, and the case has become a classic example of how childhood trauma and family secrets can shape the course of one's life. While some continue to believe the brothers' claims of abuse, others argue that their lavish lifestyle after the murders suggests a different motivation, greed, and a desire for their inheritance. Regardless of the truth, the case has prompted important conversations about childhood trauma, family dynamics, and the justice system. Today, both Lyle and Eric remain incarcerated, serving life sentences. Their story continues to be a source of public fascination, but it also serves as a painful reminder of how deep-seated emotional trauma can lead to devastating consequences. Conclusion. The Menendez brothers' case is a tragic example of the complexity of family dynamics and the lasting impact of unresolved trauma. Whether they were victims of abuse or cold-blooded killers remains a topic of intense debate, but their story highlights the destructive power of emotional pain and its ability to manifest in violent and tragic ways. If you found this video interesting, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into real-life crime stories. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the Menendez case. Was justice served, or were they victims of a broken system? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more investigations into some of the most chilling mysteries of our time. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into real-life crime stories. What do you think of this case? Was justice served, or did it fail those who needed it most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And I see you in the next video.